Hey, it's MK, and I am here for another Kit Conspiracy layout using week one's kit for the second layout. So I have pulled out this Happy Camper layout, which is a tone-on-tone orange, and it's got these banners on the other side. I'm going to use them to double map my photos, and I'm going to use this Horizon paper, also by Coco Vanilla, that is these awesome suns. And I'm going to use that to also double map my photos. And then I've got this favorite. Oh, I love this plaid, you guys, but I'm a sucker for a plaid. So I'm going to go ahead and use this paper for just an embellishment decoration, what have you, on my layout. And then I've picked out a couple things. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up using everything, but I've got arrows and a roaming cutout, or a cut apart. I also have some dies that were from the, it's something awesome, some kind of awesome, something like that. Now I don't even remember what it's called, you guys. But they are from that die cut pack. I've got some die or more die cuts. I think the window frames were from the some kind of awesome, I think is what it's called. And then the compass is from Legendary. These are also from the cut apart sheet. I'm going to use just one of these little words, but I pulled out the whole thing so you guys could see it in its entirety before I start chopping it apart. On my desk, which is weird because they're a couple months old. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I have these vellum leaves that I had just hanging out on my desk, and I was cleaning my desk. Weird. Because that never happens. And so I thought I would pull them out and see what I could do with them. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. I also have these little photo corners. I'm horrible about using these photo corners, you guys. I think I just struggle with making them look like they belong on the page. And also the fact that I only have 4 of them and 26 photos, right? It's very hard to distinguish where you're supposed to put all these on your page. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one because it doesn't match my other arrows, but I've also got a flare and a title that doesn't make it on the layout, just to let you guys know. A couple other pieces that don't make it on the layout either, and then I found this scrap in amongst my die cuts. I have no idea where it's from, what collection it's from, anything. It's just got stars on one side and then distressing on the other side. So these are my photos right here, and they are of my kids on a path. And what that little sign is talking about is actually pretty cool because it is talking about and referring to whether the fact that we are walking on a riverbed. And so this whole land, the entire property that we are walking on right now at this very moment is nothing but a riverbed. It used to, or not even a riverbed, a lake bed. I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong term. The whole valley used to be a lake, and that's where all of the super cool elements that we go and we find on our little hike here. It's not a very big hike, you guys. And we get to witness all of this stuff because the fact that this valley was covered in water. Some of the caves that we go into are super, super cool and things like that. So I really just wanted to tell you guys what this little path, not path, but no, that's not what this is called. See, now I'm telling you guys the wrong thing. I just went off on the wrong thing. So ignore what I just said because I'm probably going to say it in another video. But this particular one is actually about the rocks that we are walking by because of the fact that this was a river. Nope, it's not river. It's lake bed. There's algae growing on the rocks. And this number 2 post sign actually tells you what the algae is and the fact that it's still able to survive because of the fungus that is feeding off of it. I know it's a symbiotic relationship that these two things have and survive for. So even though there's no water, they still make a relationship and are able to live on these rocks. So it basically says the brightly colored, scaly material that you see on the surfaces of many of the boulders are called lichens or lichens. I'm not really sure. It's Lichens. And they represent a parasitic host relationship of fungus and algae. So it's parasitic, but it's still symbiotic, because without one, the other cannot live. So the algae produces the food and the fungus lives off of it. And that's basically how they survive, which is weird because, without the fungi eating it, then the algae will never regrow, if that makes any sense. So anyways, it says that the color differences, because there's a little bit of red, there's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. Because of the color differences, likely represents the age, species, or environmental factors of, during the growth and whatnot. So super fun to know what all that stuff was on the rocks. They're called boulders. Once you reach a certain size, then they're no longer called rocks. I also think that certain boulders are made out of different materials or a different, what is that word called? I know the word, but now I can't think of the word, as to what, how porous it is and how, all the different things that make up a rock, basically. So anyways, or a type of geostructure, right? Because not everything is a rock. I will agree with that. But, to the naked eye, these look like rocks. But the reason why they are infected, should I say, is because of all the water. And the weird part is there is absolutely no reason anybody would have even thought that this whole valley was underwater at one point in time. So that's what I was trying to say, is that it is just a cool phenomenon of what still grows with the absence of water, even though it was there at one point in time. So anyways, I did make those little photo corners work for a heartbeat. I went ahead and I put them in my two 3x4 photos. Just to use them up, you guys. No other purpose, no other reason. Normally, I like to use photo corners. Wow, that's hard for me to say. Normally, I like to use those things to hide something in the corner of a photo that I couldn't quite crop out. It would have just looked weird. The aspect ratio would have just looked weird. Things like that. And so these here, there's no reason or rhyme why I used them. I just used them to use them because they were there. These little film strips, I had to poke out every single one. Like, they were really stuck in there. Not my favoriteest thing to do for the layout, but I ended up making the layout. And now that I have all the things on the layout that I technically wanted on the layout, well, I'm still adding to. So I've got my little pile. Over on the right side, I have a small pile in what looks like a piece of paper. It's actually one of my photos flipped upside down, and I'm going to make a pocket card out of the back side of that photo, and I'm going to add a flip flap onto my page protector once this goes into an album, because I have an extra photo and it didn't work with my design. So what I'm going to do on top of my other landscape picture is attach this flip flap on the outside of the layout over where this photo is going to be placed. Like when you put your layout in your page protector and then you can see where that photo ends up, that's where the flip flap will be attached. And then I'll have this other one over the top of it, and then it'll be an interactive piece on my layout. And so anyways, normally I share with you guys that I'm going to do the layout. I usually don't share how to attach a flip flap on a page. I think I did it in a Pocket page here recently, but now I don't remember if I did that or not, if I actually recorded it. I usually don't, because it's bulky and big to bring out my whole album and whatnot, and it's the very last thing that I end up doing, because they do go on your page protectors as opposed to on your album, and then they'll never be able to flip up if you do them on your album or on your layout. So anyways, but if you guys would like to see a video of just me applying a flip flap, I'm pretty sure I have a couple that still need to be attached, and I haven't done it. All right, so I didn't like my first design. I got rid of the very large title. I didn't like it. Now I just got rid of the very large viewfinder. It just got tossed off to the side. And I like the minimalist of this. I did add a little bit of a stencil with some Faded Jeans Distress Oxide. I added it for two reasons. For one, I had a lot of white space. Now, I didn't mind the white space, but I feel like now it's not as harsh of a white space. It was so harsh, the paper just stopped and wow, here's some white stuff, right? Whereas if you add the stencil work, it allows your paper to kind of blend in and bleed into, or the color of your paper, I should say, bleed into your background, and it's not so harsh, but yet you still have your white space. I really do enjoy adding the stencil work. And then of course I thought that I needed a little bit more added to my border strip anyways, or my film strip, I should say. No, film strip's not right either, but the plaid. So I brought in some washi tape. Now, another reason why I brought in my stencil, and I know I'm working on the pocket page now, so the voiceover isn't out of sync. It just is me talking and babbling like I always do. The other reason why I brought in the stencil is because of the fact that Janet and I on Monday are going to start a brand new series. And it's a little bit of I wouldn't say an introduction, but it's a little bit more of a look into mixed media supplies. So it's going to be just a one supply at a time type of look and introduction and whatnot, to get people more comfortable with wanting to use these types of supplies, especially when we spend so much to invest in them, right? So we want people to want to use them. All right, so all the things that I picked out to use on that card, I decided, no, that was just too much. The card's too small, and I really wanted a journaling spot. Not that I journal a lot on my pages, but again, this is so cool and so unique that unless you go read about it, I don't think anybody would believe me that this used to be water. I really don't. So anyways, that is just basically what I was going to journal about, and the fact that, the rocks aren't discolored because of the sun or anything like that. There's a living organism. There's two living organisms living on top of these gorgeous rocks, and they're turning them all these really cool colors, to be honest. All right, you guys, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel. She is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is my partner in crime when it comes to Kit Conspiracy. We really do enjoy doing these series together, especially when she has a totally different approach to her supplies and how she scrapbooks as well. So it's nice to be able to get all of these different ideas using these papers that you too also might have in your stash. So we wanted to bring that to you as well. All right, you guys, again, I have all the links down below to our Facebook groups, as well as the Kit Conspiracy has its own Facebook group for others that are participating, and then they post there as well for you to go check out and be able to see lots and lots and lots of interpretations. And then also too, some folks are picking out other papers that maybe coordinate or are the same colors as the papers that we picked out, but yet they have their own mix of colors, and then that'll give you another idea what to look for in your stash. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.